Right, so let's have a look at question 21C part 1, which is down here from the 2013 Revised Higher Physics paper. And it says the total mass of the motorcyclist and the rider is 290 kilograms. I'll just highlight that. At a time of 2 seconds, the driving force on the motorcycle is 1800 newtons. So that is F, and I'll call it FD, I suppose, for driving force, and this is the mass of the motorcyclist and the motorcycle and the rider. The question is, calculate the frictional force acting on the motorcycle at this time. So let me just draw a simple picture of the motorcycle and rider. Here it is. I like to draw things simply. I didn't do very well in art class at school, I have to say. And we're going to draw the forces on this motorcycle and rider. So we have a driving force. I'll call that, let's not do it as a squiggly line. Let's try and do it straight. And that driving force I'm calling FD. And we also have a frictional force acting in reverse. I'll call that FR for friction. So the question is, what's the frictional force? We know the driving force is 1800 newtons, like that, and we're trying to find out the frictional force. We also know the mass is 290 kg. So how do we determine this? What we must do is use the acceleration to determine the unbalanced force required, first of all. So the unbalanced force equation is F equals ma, and that is 290 multiplied by the acceleration of 5. And so that gives us an answer of 1450 newtons. So that's the unbalanced force acting on the motorcycle and rider. So if there's a driving force of 1800 newtons, then there must be a frictional force in reverse which acts to produce an overall unbalanced force of 1450. So we can write that over here. The unbalanced force is the driving force minus the frictional force. And that is 1800 minus FR is equal to 1450. So if we subtract 1450 from 1800, we'll get the frictional force. So the frictional force is 1800 minus 1450. And that's equal to 350 newtons. So that's our frictional force, which finishes question C part 1. I suppose technically, because we're dealing with vectors, and vectors have magnitude and direction, if this forward force is 1800 newtons and it's a positive number, then the frictional force would be minus 350 newtons, and I think that is suggested in the marking scheme as well. So if you add these two numbers together, plus 1800 plus minus 350, you'll get the unbalanced force as well.